The Senate Judiciary Committee is set to begin meeting soon to consider the historic Supreme Court nomination of Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. Judge Jackson will not attend the meeting, but committee members are expected to speak and then vote on whether to advance her nomination to the full Senate. Now, no Republicans on the committee have yet voiced support for Jackson, so this vote could end in a tie, but Democrats still have the numbers to move forward with a final confirmation vote by the end of the week. And I want to bring in political reporter Brittany Shepard, along with ABC News contributors Shauna Lloyd, a trial attorney and managing partner at the Cochran firm, Leah Wright-Rigger, a history professor at Johns Hopkins University, former Republican Congresswoman Barbara Comstock, and Democracy for America CEO Yvette Simpson for more on this. Brittany, I'd like to start with you. Republican Senators Mitt Romney and Lisa Murkowski have yet to say whether they will vote to confirm Judge Jackson or not. What do you think they're considering at this point?
Well, Diane, we heard Mitt Romney say over the weekend that he's considering Ketanji Brown Jackson judicial prudence. The pair met last week, and it's likely, and the White House is crossing their fingers and hoping that bipartisan support from the public, including members of the Church of Latter-day Saints, Mormon Church, which Mitt Romney is involved with, is a member of, supporting Ketanji Brown Jackson's nomination publicly will put some pressure on Republicans, especially Mitt Romney and Lisa Murkowski, to move over to join a bipartisan ranking. Of course, Mitt Romney said that he's not really concerned with other Republican attacks have been at Ketanji Brown Jackson. We saw just last week some of those attacks got pretty gnarly and very personal, attacking her record on sentencing, especially regarding child porn. And I think that we're going to see both today and as the week goes on, these two key Republicans keeping their cards pretty close to the chest and looking to see how she is under pressure and how Democrats are going to sell how she believes the Constitution is a living document, and how she will rule, maybe not politically, but with consensus of the rest of the Supreme Court.
Now, Shauna, Republicans during the confirmation hearings focused on Judge Jackson's sentencing of child porn offenders and her defense of Guantanamo Bay detainees. What was in her record there that raised concerns, and what can you tell us about some of these key cases that were raised?
Some of the concerns they had was that they felt that her sentencing was very different than what was asked for by the state or the guidelines. But historically, what we see is that judges typically are sentencing lower on average. So that was their issue with the child porn cases. Now, particularly her defense of the individuals in Guantanamo Bay, this was a case that individuals she had represented before, and when she went into private practice, asked for re-representation. This is not unusual. Typically, once you've represented a client, they will often seek you out for other cases.
And Leah, Supreme Court confirmations used to be largely bipartisan. So how has that changed over the years? And is there a way back?
So certainly the contentious nature and the hostile nature of Supreme Court hearings is not a new feature. It's been this way for the past couple of Supreme Court justices. But if we look, a couple decades back, we see that there's broad and pretty unanimous consensus across the board for older Supreme Court justices. It's a reflection of how polarized and how partisan our country is right now. But I would actually look at Judge Jackson's support in broader America and point out that 2/3 of Americans support this Supreme Court nomination. 88% of Americans believe that she is qualified to be on the bench. In fact, they believe that she's overqualified to be on the bench. So to me, that's an indication that the American public actually understands what is going on and the path forward. And she's going to be confirmed unless something out of a comic book happens. She's going to be confirmed. What I think we should be paying attention to is the fact that she's going onto a court with the support of most Americans, and in fact is the most popular nominee that we've seen in the past decade. So this is something that indicates that the American public really does stand behind her. Congress is another thing, and Congress is a reflection of partisan politics, of calculations going on behind the scenes, and again, is a reflection of the agendas that these various politicians have in the moment.
And Barbara, Senator Lindsey Graham was one of a few Republican senators who brought up the fact that Judge Jackson was not the most moderate judge on President Biden's shortlist, and he calls her a favorite of the radical left. How much of the reservations on the right are related to Judge Jackson's answers during the confirmation process, and how much of it is based more on stuff behind the scenes, like the support she got and like things in her record?
Well, I think Supreme Court nominations in general have become very partisan. And actually, no one was more sort of involved in that than Joe Biden himself, because you have many people on this committee who've wanted to run for president over the years. And we saw that during Judge Jackson's confirmation hearing. So while she will not be getting much Republican support, she already has Susan Collins. She has more than Amy Coney Barrett had, because Amy Coney Barrett had no Democrats on the committee or on the floor. And I would point out that Joe Biden voted against Chief Justice Roberts and Alito and many other Republican nominees, as did, people like Amy Klobuchar and other Democrats on this committee voted against all of the Trump nominees. So unfortunately, this is the way things have been. But Judge Jackson will get confirmed.
So, Yvette, what are you looking out for as these hearings go on?
I'm hoping we'll have a pretty simple process of getting at least the nomination advance. We expect that to be split, and then when the actual vote happens, what I hope doesn't happen is a repeat of the hearings, because Republicans got every shot, and they tried to break her down, and they could not break her. And I think the more that they did that, the more Americans rallied around her, especially Black Americans and women across our country. And so I don't know that this serves them. I hope that they have said their piece. I hope they give their vote. I hope we get a couple more votes. Lisa Murkowski is up this year, so I know she's making that calculation. And Mitch McConnell, as you know, is the leader, so we don't know what's going to happen. But I hope it's an uneventful day and that she gets confirmed and we can move forward.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.